Group discussion skills 18上一堂我哋講過 group discussion 俾 agreement 同埋 disagreement 嘅句子，今堂我哋練習俾 reason 同埋 examples 嘅句子。How do you give reasons? Connectives of reasons: since, as, because. Because. For example, I cleaned up my bedroom because it was very messy and dirty. For example, he studied hard because he needed a good grade. As. For example, I cleaned up my bedroom as it was very messy and dirty. For example, as it's raining, we have decided to stay home. Since. Since my bedroom was messy and dirty, I cleaned it up. For example, would you consider it since she asked nicely? Give examples. For example, he has many hobbies. For example, he collects stamps, makes models, paints landscapes, and writes poems. This car has many advantages over other models. For instance, it costs less and it does not consume much petrol. He has many hobbies, such as, or namely, or like collecting stamps, making models, painting landscapes, and writing poems. Let me give an example. Money cannot buy happiness. An example will illustrate this point clearly. Between wealth and health, most people prefer choosing the latter. Group discussion skill: giving and asking for reasons and examples. 1. Giving reasons and examples. In a group discussion, it's important to give reason for your opinion so that others can agree or disagree with you. It is also useful to give examples to clarify what you mean. There are a number of different ways to give reasons. Examples: I'm afraid I can't agree with your comment because I think it's better to study in Hong Kong for several reasons. First, then, I think that family is more important than studies. The reason is that there are also many ways to give examples. Study abroad can be very dangerous. For example, they are twins, but their personalities are quite different. An example is, Europe is no longer the most popular place to study. Take, for instance. 下面嘅問題係出自 Longman Elect NSS Test Papers Paper 4 Speaking Set 8。大家可以按暫停睇寫一次 note card。Shall we start the discussion? Yes, sure. Okay, so today we are going to discuss what to include in our open day for sports club. First, we need to discuss what sports to include. Does anyone have any ideas? Yes, I'd like to start by suggesting we include football and baseball. They are very popular sports and the teams are quite large, so lots of students can play simultaneously. Many children also already know the rules from watching the sports on TV or playing them as youngsters. I agree with you that they are well-liked sports, but I don't think baseball is suitable as a school's club. Our school simply doesn't have the space. Strong players can hit the ball a long way, and they're in danger of breaking windows. I think one criterion of the selected sports clubs needs to be that they don't require excessive space. That's a good point. Well, what does everyone think about having a football stand? I think football is a suitable club to include. Not only is it very popular, but you can also reduce the number of players and the field size if necessary. Or even play indoors if the weather's bad. Okay, so does everyone agree that we should include football? Yes, okay. I think we should include some sports that are played in a more confined space, such as basketball or volleyball. These sports are also popular, and like football, there's the added benefit of being able to play indoors. What about racket sports, like tennis or badminton? Although they don't involve a large number of players, they are quite easy to learn. In my opinion, the level of difficulty of a sport is important. This is because if we want to attract new students to sports club, we should consider that they might be beginners. I think that's a relevant point. Students might be embarrassed to play football in a team if they are not very experienced, and it might be difficult to get sufficient training. Since many students may already have been playing for years. However, they can easily find another beginner to learn tennis with. Since tennis is played in singles or doubles, it's easier to get one-on-one attention too. How about an athletic club for summer? What do you all think of that? I'm afraid I don't agree with you. Again, there's a problem of space. That's true, but maybe the club could rent some time in a local athletic stadium. I know some schools do that on a regular basis. Oh, I don't realize you could do that. In that case, maybe we should consider inviting some external clubs to come to the open day so that we can include sports like rock climbing, swimming, ice skating, and so on. I like that idea. From my point of view, if we can cater to many students' preferences, we should have a good turnout. Okay, well, we've got a good selection of ideas there. Shall we move on to discuss extra attractions? Who would like to include other entertainment? In my opinion, we should include sports entertainment. For example, we could set up a large screen showing the different sports in action. I agree with you, although it might be more attention-grabbing if we had real people demonstrating the sports. I think that'd be a good idea, but we'll have to think carefully about the sport we want to demonstrate. I mean, we wouldn't have space for football demonstrations, for example. No, that's true, but in any case, everyone knows what football looks like. We could rather demonstrate some of the lesser-known sports, and maybe even let people have a go. Do you mean like a taster section? Yes, I'm thinking it could just be for 10 minutes. We could demonstrate sports like Kung Fu or Karate. I think that's a fantastic idea because it'll show people how much fun sports can be. I agree. If we are planning to demonstrate sports, then I think we are obliged to offer refreshments. Yes, absolutely. In my opinion, we should reward people who take part in the demonstrations with free drinks. That's a good idea. What about food? Does anyone have any ideas about what sort of food we should offer? It'll need to be healthy food, I guess. Maybe we could offer sliced fruit. If you ask me, it'll be too complicated to serve food because someone will need to prepare it and we'll need an area to serve it. I see your point. Also, we'll have to decide whether to sell the snacks or serve them for free. I agree that it'll be too complicated. Okay, is it unanimous that we are just going to provide drinks? Yes, I think so. Right. I think we should move on to the next point, which is how we are going to advertise our open day. What does everybody think? Well, for a start, we are trying to connect with students who aren't members of sports clubs already. So, maybe we should put up posters in places they might frequent visit, like the library and the canteen. I agree with you. In addition, I would like to suggest putting together leaflets. If we stand at the school gates as people leave, we can hand them each one on their way out. I'm not sure I agree about the leaflets. Whenever you see someone handing out leaflets, you always see the bulk of them in the rubbish bin or even scattered all over the floor. I think C's got a point. Poster would be more cost efficient and far more environmentally friendly. How about asking the principal to make an announcement too? People will be forced to listen, and so they might show more interest in the posters. What does everyone else think of that idea? I think it's an excellent idea because, as you said, it radically reduces waste, but everyone will still be informed. However, I think we need to discuss what we will tell people in the announcement. We must make our open day sound attractive, or no one will come. The way I see it, we should emphasize that the demonstrations will be highly entertaining. I think lots of students will come to see the show, and then we can persuade them to join a club. I agree with you. If we only talk about the clubs, the people who come will probably be club members already. We are trying to attract new people. However, we mustn't forget that sports clubs are quite serious. We need to be careful that we don't attract irresponsible people. Yes, you've got a point there. However, I don't believe these types will join the clubs, even if they come for the demonstrations. The club secretaries will be able to convey the seriousness of the clubs. Good point. So, we've decided that we'll ask the principal to announce our open day and say that there will be demonstrations and drinks. Yes, I think our open day will be quite successful. Is there anything else people think we need to discuss? Yes, I think we should decide whether staff members are going to be actively involved in the open day or if it'll just be students. In my opinion, if the teachers are involved, it'll emphasize that the event is part of the school, not just a social occasion. I see what you mean. On the other hand, if it's just students, other students might be more attracted to join in. They might feel intimidated if they think the teachers are watching them. I don't agree with you, I'm afraid. If we involve the teachers, then we can ask them to talk about the event in class. As a result, many students might decide to come along. On the other hand, if we don't involve the staff, students might think the event is unimportant and they won't support us. Yes, I agree with B. After all, the teachers are going to be involved in the clubs, aren't they? And I don't think many students are scared of their teachers these days. Yes, I agree with what you've both said. So, let's agree to involve the teachers. If the teachers are involved, we might also be given some class time to prepare for the open day. Good idea. Time's up. Stop your discussion now. Read the discussion again and jot down the ways to give reasons and examples. Now, do the exercise to test yourself. Bye.